Hello, and welcome to episode 9 of the Success by Design weekly masterclass. And today is the second masterclass of 2020. So I'm so excited. If you are able to join me live and if you are catching up on the replay, let me know in the comments as I'm going if you can hear me, also where you're joining from, if you're watching live, if you're watching on the replay. I'm always excited to hear from you and to see who is tuning into these and also what you're taking away from these masterclasses, because it is my intention to give you some information in 15 to 20 minutes every week that you can apply to your life and create change. And I just want to share a quick story with you before we get started with today's training about something I was talking to someone yesterday. And it's a story that you are going to be well aware of, but it's one that is good to remember over and over again. It's the story of the hare and the tortoise. So the hare and the tortoise had a race, and the hare sprinted off ahead of the tortoise and was always looking like they were going to win the race. Now, who actually won the race in that hare and tortoise? It was the tortoise, because what the hare did was the hare sprinted, so got all the energy going right at the beginning and then ran out of energy. And it was the tortoise, slow and steady, who just carried on doing it step by step by step by step, who actually won the race. And the reason that this age-old story is so relevant in business and in life is because we forget our life, our entire life, however long our entire life is a marathon. It's not a sprint. So whether we're in our careers at the start, at the middle, near the end, we're starting a new career, we're starting a new business, we've just got married, we're in a new relationship, we've just had a child, whatever it is, whatever stage you are at in your life, it is so important to remember it's a marathon, not a sprint. And that change actually happens incrementally, a percentage at a time, one step at a time. It doesn't just happen massively overnight. There is no such thing as an overnight success. Longest night of my life is what most people say if they're talking about overnight success, because it just doesn't happen like that. Olympic athletes don't win gold medals by training once and rocking up to the Olympics and saying, "Hi, I'm here, I'm just going to run 100 meters." You know, Usain Bolt trained for that day in, day out, even on the days when he didn't want to train, when it was cold, when it was wet, when the alarm went off, when maybe he wanted to roll over in bed, he got out of bed and trained day in, day out. So it is so important to remember, and especially second week of the year, 14 days into the new year, if you are on that cusp of the New Year's resolutions, we talked about it last week about how to keep the momentum going with the resolutions, then it's important to remember it's a marathon, not a sprint. You don't have to do all of this straight away. You are literally just doing it one bit at a time, one day at a time, one half day at a time, if that's how you have to break things down, whatever it is. And remembering why you're actually doing things are what help you on this journey. So that's just a pre bit of setting up to what we're talking about today. So as I said, welcome to episode 9 of the Success by Design weekly masterclass. I am your host, Abigail Barnes, and in this week's session we are going to be talking about something called journaling and why it will change your life. Now, before we dive into this, for those of you that don't know me, who are watching this, maybe your first ever weekly masterclass with me, let me introduce myself. So I am the founder of Success by Design Training, a company who work with highly motivated professionals and visionary organizations that want to improve productivity as well as work-life balance. And we work with them using our 888 formula and method to help them redefine their relationship with time. Results and cultures are created by people, and everybody has the same 24-hour days. So why can one company or why can one individual do more than the other? So the results that people are getting literally is coming down to what they're doing differently. Our training focuses on these things. It helps individuals and organizations to move the needle to create the changes, both professionally and organizationally, to increase the productivity, but working less hard to create a better work-life balance. Because productivity isn't about working harder and doing everything. It's really about identifying what creates the change. And the people who are maximizing their 24-hour days are not necessarily doing more. They're just more aware and more mindful about what they are doing. And our training helps people to identify this. And a client I was speaking to yesterday said, wow, a couple of things that you have said have massively changed the results that I'm getting. And that's the reality. It's not huge things, it's small incremental changes. And this is where this week's training is going to be so useful for you. So if you are at a crossroads in your life, maybe on paper things are looking good, to the outside world you have everything, but 14 days into this new year, it really feels to you like not much has changed except the year. So we've gone from 2019 to 2020, that's all that's changed in your mind. Then this week's masterclass is really for you, because today I'm going to share a secret with you, and this secret is called journaling. Now, journaling really is a superpower. Before we get started, journaling involves a notebook, having a notebook, and having a pen. You don't necessarily need a notebook with your initial on or a pen with your initial on, but if you want to, then that will help you get started. If you would like to just grab a piece of paper and a pen, you can journal like that. I like to journal in my branded notebook with my pen because they were a birthday present. It helps me. But journaling is quite literally the art of taking notes for your subconscious mind. So I've talked before about the brain, and in the brain there are many different parts that do many different things. But what happens with our brain is, imagine it's like a computer, and the computer has been programmed throughout your life by family, by friends, by society, by teachers, by religion, by culture, by the countries that we live in. And this programming has created things that we do day in, day out. And that is called the unconscious. And we probably do 95% of things on a daily basis unconsciously. And if we want our lives to change, we have to become aware of what we're doing to create the results that we're getting. If we're not happy with the results, we have to change our actions. So without wishing to get too complicated, let's take a step back. What journaling actually does is it allows you to take notes for your subconscious mind. So all day, everything, we are doing activities, habits that we're not really aware of, but there are answers deep inside of us to the questions that we have about what is my purpose, why am I here, why do I have everything and yet I don't feel happy, what can I do, how can I change it? Starts by taking notes. It starts by getting your journal, getting a pen, and there are two ways to do this. We've created a journaling, like a super simple journaling overview document that if you put in the comments that you would like to be sent it, or DM me your email address, I'll send this journaling document over to you. But here is how it goes. Now, journaling, many different people talk about this, but this is the way that I do it. This is the way that we do it. Two different ways. Let's keep this super simple. The first way to journal is known as free writing. So this is where maybe you're a bit more used to this, you know what's going on. So you sit down with a piece of paper, you set a timer for 8 minutes, because this doesn't need to be overly complicated, 8 minutes, and you just write what comes up. That's the first way to journal. The second way to journal is if you are not confident, you haven't really done journaling before, and you have no idea what I'm talking about, you use journaling prompts. And this is what we've got in this document. We've got 8, obviously, prompts for you to journal about. And the first thing that you do is you start by writing, I don't know what to write. I don't know why I'm writing. And then it just comes out of you. Your subconscious knows. It's really crazy. So a journaling prompt could be, what kind of a day do I want to have today? And then you just journal on that. Another one could be, what advice would I give to my younger self? And you just start writing. And you will be shocked at how much wisdom is actually in you. And here's an interesting thing. So why journaling is so important for finding your answers, your purpose, your information about yourself. Otherwise, you will travel the world, you will buy stuff, you will work with people, you will read books, you will be searching for all the answers externally, when the answers are actually internal. You can also access these answers by meditating, but journaling is another way of doing it. And it's super simple. And as I said, we recommend that people start by setting a timer for 8 minutes and either journaling with prompts or journaling free writing by literally starting, I don't know what to write, and waiting to see what comes out. And so your subconscious mind is always trying to talk to you, but during the day, we're so busy, we listen to music, we're watching TV shows, we're catching up on stuff, we're having conversations, we're in and out of meetings. So our subconscious mind doesn't have time to talk to us. We don't have time to listen. But if we actually set a time first thing in the morning or last thing at night to sit for 8 minutes and just write, you will be surprised by what comes out, let me tell you. And the subconscious mind, if you don't do this, will also wake you up at 3 o'clock in the morning. So if you're somebody who struggles with sleep and you find yourself waking up in the middle of the night and you just can't go back to sleep, it's because you're ignoring something in you that is trying to talk to you. If you turn on the light or go to another room, if you don't want to disturb people, and take out a piece of paper and a pen and literally say, okay, I'm here, what do you want me to hear? Write for as long as you can write, you will be able to go back to bed. It's an insane superpower. And then the amazing thing is you will be able to go to all these countries around the world and not have to find yourself. You will be able to go to these countries around the world and just have the best time ever, because you know how to find yourself by sitting down with a pen and paper and journaling. It's absolutely crazy. And like I say, it is a superpower. And you're then able to travel the world and do things and experience stuff without feeling desperate, without being one of those people who is like, I just have to know, I just have to find out what my passion, what my purpose is by traveling around the world. Because ultimately you will never be able to go to enough countries, you will never be able to read enough books, ask enough people, if you're always looking for the answers outside of you when the answers are actually inside of you. And journaling is where you commit to sit and take notes and take action on what you actually hear when you are taking notes. So I hope that this week you have found this useful. If you've got any questions, leave them in the comments. If you would like to hear any different tips, tricks about anything else, if you would like to be a guest on my show, as I've said, I will be having people come on and talking about what success actually means to them and how they have designed their life and what they do to access parts of themselves. And journaling is one of those things. We'll be talking to people about the exercise they do, yoga, meditation, Pilates, how you can get access to the things in you that will help you to create the life that you want to have, want to be living. If you've got any questions about our training as well, and you would like to know more or have a conversation about our productivity training, bringing it to your organization, then drop us a line, and you can email hello@successbydesign.training as well. So it has been so awesome to be with you. Happy 14th of January, and I look forward to seeing you again at the same time next week, when we are going to be talking about, because it will be the day after the Blue Monday, so we're going to be talking about ways that you can take control of your mental health in 2020 so that it doesn't take control of you. And journaling, that we are talking about today, is one of the most amazing ways that you can start to tune in to the voice that wants to talk to you. So anyway, look forward to seeing you again next week. Thank you for being with me, and any questions, leave them in the